All right, so I'm going to talk about Chinese New Year or Chinese Spring Festival. And I'm going to start us off with this video. Where'd my mouse go? Okay. Yeah, and while you're watching this video, this is kind of just a short introduction into what the holiday is like. And while you're watching, look for some customs that are similar to the ones we have here, if you can find any.
Spring Festival, 春节, is the first day of the Chinese lunar calendar. When 春节 is approaching, people are busy purchasing goods, cleaning the house, cooking traditional food, making Spring Festival couplets, and hanging Spring Festival pictures. Having a family dinner is the main activity on 春节. Dumplings are essential to the dinner. Dumplings represent reunion and goodwill. The whole family gathers to enjoy quality family time. On 春节, Lunar New Year's Day, people in new clothes visit each other and give money to kids to send good wishes. During 春节 holidays, all kinds of celebrations are held, including temple fairs, performances, and lantern exhibitions, which last nearly half a month.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so cool. So I'm sure you saw some similarities between at least some of the holidays we have in the US, even though it is very different. So Chinese Spring Festival is the most important holiday in China and to Chinese people. It's actually celebrated all over the world because there's Chinese people all over the world. And I actually haven't gotten the chance to celebrate it because I was there in the fall, and it happens in February typically. So I haven't actually celebrated before, but I've known about it pretty much since I started studying China and learning Chinese because it's very important. So why do the Chinese celebrate it? Well, its history originates back to like 4,000 years. It's really old. It has to be older than both of the holidays that we already presented.
Definitely.
Yeah. And originally it was to kind of give thanks to your ancestors and welcome in the new year by starting it off right with family. And that's the same purpose as today. People come together with their family. They do all these traditional customs in order to start off the new year right, very similar to the way that we do New Year here. So yeah, this is a picture of people eating food together because there's no better way to celebrate than eating food. So Chinese New Year actually happens on the lunar calendar rather than the calendar that we use, which is the Gregorian calendar. And so it actually changes, the matchup changes from year to year. So this year, Chinese New Year was on February 8th and New Year's Eve was on February 7th. And yeah, so the lunar calendar also corresponds with the zodiac animals. There are 12 animals, and you may have heard before about what zodiac animal you are, depending on what year you were born in. I'm a pig. Do you guys know it?
I'm a rat.
You're a rat?
I'm a dog.
You're a dog? Okay. And this year, the zodiac animal was the monkey. And when your zodiac animal comes back around, so every 12 years, it's actually an unlucky year. So good thing that none of us are the monkey. But yeah, so the festival continues for, as the video said, around half a month or around 15 days. People get a full week off. It's one of the longest vacations in China. And what happens is that everyone goes home. So all of China starts to move around, and there are over 1.3 billion Chinese people in the world. So it's actually the world's largest annual migration. And this is a picture of a train station after there was a snow cancellation. And you can see how many people there are. Annie, I know that you talked about traveling in China before. It's really crowded.
Yeah, it can be really bad when, like, at rush hour,
Yeah.
when everyone's trying to, like, go home or get to work. It's just, you're so crowded with people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but that's a little bit more intense.
Right. Yeah, I traveled right before National Holiday, which is the other big vacation that the Chinese get, and I got stuck on top of a mountain for about 4 hours because everyone tried to leave at once, and all of the gondolas going down just could not get people down quick enough. So it was a really long wait, but I still had a good time. But yeah, this is called Chunyun, and it's literally the trip. The Spring Festival Movement, I think, is the literal translation, but it's just the word for people traveling home. And you may think, like, I guess for my family, it's like my family has recently started to travel on Christmas Day because no one's moving that day because my parents hate dealing with traffic. But it's so important for the Chinese people to go home for the New Year's Eve celebration. So regardless of how crowded it is, doesn't matter, everyone's going to go home. So once they get home, this is Chuxi, so New Year's Eve, and there's all these traditional things that they do. And it's pretty much all just to prepare for the new year, to kind of be your best self and the best family, like, before the new year comes in. So that first picture is little cartoon characters cleaning their house, cleaning out the old so they can welcome in the new. Second picture is some people shopping. People typically wear new red clothes. Red is like the color of success and happiness and all good things. Yeah, and that's a man hanging up some couplets. Those are just like good fortune sayings. And then that character, so the Chinese is written in characters. You saw that in the video, and you're seeing it on a lot of my slides. But that character is actually the character Fu upside down, and Fu is happiness. But when it's turned upside down, it looks like the character Dao, and Dao means to arrive, basically. So when the Chinese turn it upside down, it basically is like an auspicious way of bringing fortune, or like fortune arriving. It's confusing, but yeah, there's a lot of Chinese words that look like a certain way if you turn them the right way, and I think it's really interesting and fascinating. And of course, the most important part is eating dinner with the family. You saw all the food they were making. It looked so good. We're hungry. Yeah, in the north they eat dumplings. In the south, I think they eat like rice balls. It's a little different depending on what region of the country you're from. Yeah, and
what are they? I want to know if those are flowers.
Flowers. Yeah, I think flowers are very important during New Year's. I'm not really sure exactly what they signify, but I know that flowers are definitely bought. And also, like, China has become like a very consumerist country, so a lot of shopping happens during New Year's, a lot like our Christmas. So everyone goes out and buys a lot of things. Yeah. Okay, so what happens is everyone, this is gonna sound really familiar to our New Year's, but everyone waits up until midnight, and then fireworks go off, and they go off everywhere, and it's really loud. You saw a few images of it, and in my mind, like, it's a little crazier than what we have in the US, where typically it's like maybe a few people in the neighborhood are setting off fireworks and there's like like maybe a show somewhere that you're seeing. But in China, I think it's just like everyone is setting off fireworks if they can. And I think one of the old traditional reasons of why they set off fireworks is to like scare out the old, just by making it as loud as possible. So the next morning, in China, it's very important that the young respect their elders. So the young and the families go around greeting relatives, and the relatives thank them by giving them these red envelopes. So those are called hongbao, and inside the red envelopes is money, which is awesome. Yeah. And so that's kind of similar to Christmas morning. That guy's holding presents in the picture. I'm sure that's more of like a modern day tradition to give presents on New Year's Day. But yeah. And then, as I said in the video, so during the 15 days, there's a lot of things to do. And again, it's dependent on the region of the country you're in. They have different festivals in different places. But these are pictures of some temple fairs and some people doing lion dances. And yeah. And then on the last day, so typically people have a week off, but they're still celebrating through the rest of the 15 days. And on the last day is the Lantern Festival, and you'll see all these beautiful lanterns go up. And that's an image. The right-hand image is on a lake. And yeah, that's Chinese Spring Festival. Cool.
So now you can write in the comment section or the chat section, really any questions you have for us. It can be about the holidays, or it can really be about any of the countries that we visited.